Okay, so I'm gonna show you an official solve where I use JZP. So this was the last solve of PBQ Bukit Jalil 2023 in the finals. So uh, yeah, I got a 22 on this one, and this scramble wasn't that easy, so I think 22 was a pretty decent result. I started on the inverse, and on the inverse there's 6 bad edges which are here on white front. This scramble had like 6, 6, and 6 bad edges, so it wasn't that good of a scramble, and there were very few form of EOs, but this is one of them. So I did D to reduce it to 4 bad, so now it's here, and then L2 F U prime to solve the EO. Looking at green top, there's not much. It's like a 6C. I don't. Anyway, it's not good. Then, looking at red top DRs, I saw that it's a okay. First of all, it's a 4C6E, which isn't that great. But I saw that there were these two like pairs, and this long block. So I figured if I do uh, if I do D2 R, it it reduces it to JZP. So what JZP is when all the bad edges are on the S slice, and you have an even number of corners, and all the corners are either facing the front or facing the back. So this is what we have here. See, this corner is facing in front, this one's facing in front, this corner is facing in front, and the last one is facing at the back. So this is a JZP state, and what this means is that when you switch to inverse, then this side will be JZP. Like so, if it's JZP on this axis, on the inverse on the other side, the JZP will be on this axis. And I counted the bad pieces, and it reduced this side to a 4C6E, which normally you would not NIS for. It would be pretty insane to NIS for a 6 to 4C6E, but since I know that this is JZP, there's a chance that it can be pretty good. So let me show you what I mean. So when you switch to normal, as I expected, this green top DR is a JZP now. See, it fits all the conditions for a JZP. And the solution to get DR from here is pretty easy. You just do like U2, which builds this long bar, this pair, and this pair. So all that's left is B2, and then R, U2, L. So there's two ways to do this, the trigger, right? So we can either do RU to L or L F to R. But anyway, I just did RU to L. And this gives me a 2/4 turn DR in 11 moves. And the 2/4 turn DR is a 6E 4C, so it's a pretty good set. So I switched to inverse to check for HTRs. Okay, I tried to do HTR normal, of course, but it wasn't that good, so I switched to inverse. And where are the pieces? So okay, the good pieces are these 5 over here, this big L shape, and one single corner. So to get HTR, it's pretty easy from here. You just do D2, which will make the 2 bars of like good pieces, and then from here HTR is just 3 more moves, so B prime, D2, F, and that gives you HTR. So from here I noticed that the U and D layers are almost solved, and like I can just do something like U D prime F2 U prime D, right? I can just do this to leave myself with S slice, and that's S slice in 20 moves. So yeah, when I went to do slicing, you can't slice in this UD part, so I'll just remove it with RNIS. So UD prime F2 U prime D, and then scramble the normal stuff on inverse. Okay, now I've switched, and then EO, and then the DR setup, and just by looking at this cube, you can pretty much see what you have to do to solve the whole thing already. So you need to do F2 B2 U2, then F prime L2 B, which solves the whole cube in by adding 2 more moves. So 20 to slice becomes 22 final. Yeah. So the interesting part about this solve was that, of course, the JZP, right? Like recognition of JZP is like one interesting thing, and then I guess this kind of HDR thing to leave slice is pretty nice as well. Yeah. So yeah, JZP is cool.